Yeah. Hey. All right. Hey. Yeah, I mean.
So we about to take off.
Hey. Please do remain calm. About to run against it and with a little bit of soul, no times.
Welcome to Please Remain Calm. I'm Ben Gonzalez.
And I am Daniel Gonzalez. As always, folks, the opinions expressed here on the Please Remain Calm podcast are our own. They do not reflect the opinions of the Los Angeles City Fire Department or the Los Angeles County Department of Health Services. Also want to take a moment, folks, to thank you all for listening to the podcast. Again, man, I feel like I say this every time I bring it up, but it keeps growing. We keep getting new listeners, new subscribers. Thank you all so much for sticking with the podcast, for listening, downloading when you can, commenting, rating, all that stuff, man. We see the numbers when you guys do all that stuff, and it really does help us to get good placement in different places for the podcast. It helps us to get more exposure. It helps us with sponsorships and stuff like that. So just in general, if you guys want, if you're enjoying the podcast and you'd like to help us grow, just continue to share it with your friends and family. Continue to let people know about our content and that you enjoy it, and hopefully they'll enjoy it too, and they'll subscribe and like and comment and all those things. It all really helps us out, and we really appreciate you guys doing it.
Yeah, we've had some good episodes dropping. We have some great ones planned. We've been doing more of the how-to episodes and give you tips and tricks on how to get on the job and succeed. But we're also, getting into our bread and butter, and what we started the podcast doing is people who were jacked up or had something happen to them, some kind of emergency situation, and they're telling their stories, and we got some great ones lined up. But first, let's talk about the old water.
I want to talk to you about this water.
Oh, yeah.
That I love so much. CBD Living Water. You guys know I love water. Drink a ton of water. It's like all I freaking drink, really. Even when I want to have some flavor, I'll get a big tall glass of water, like 95% water and a squirt of juice or something like that, just to give it flavor. Especially with our job, I've said it 100 times. Being a firefighter is akin to being a professional athlete when it really comes down to it. Your heart rate goes from 0 to 100 if you're woken up in the middle of the night, which is when the majority of structure fires happen. And you go from sleeping to got to be on the rig and out the door within 60 seconds, and you're working your ass off. The hardest workout you've ever had, within 5 minutes, and lives hang in the balance sometimes. And so all that stress, all that physical activity, it really, a lot of times you sweat through your uniform, you sweat into your turnouts, even on medical calls, you're doing CPR, you're rushing around trying to save a life. You get heated, you sweat, and you have to replenish those fluids. We partnered up with CBD Living Water. They're an amazing company. They have a ton of different CBD products. Been using their water, taking it to the station, giving it out to the guys there at the station to replenish, rehydrate. Uses CBD nanotechnology to stimulate your immune system as well. It is alkaline water. It's just great for you all around. And the company, CBD Living, has just a ton of great CBD products. I'm a huge advocate of CBD and the medicinal properties of CBD.
Absolutely.
Go out there, check them out. Give them a follow on Instagram. It's at CBD Living Water. They're a great company, and you guys should check them out.
Absolutely. If it's helping guys get through the most strenuous job you can imagine, it'll help you get through your job.
It'll get you through your day in your cubicle, Todd.
You can handle it. All right. So today's guest. This is a show that we've been kind of trying to do since the jump, since the early first 10, 20 shows. We had a guy who was shot 5 times, but then he backed out at the last minute. The hour that we were supposed to record or something. He texted and said that he couldn't do it. He didn't want to talk about it. A
lot of times, and we'll get into this with our guest today too. We had a really amazing guest with an amazing story. But a lot of times, man, it's I say this a lot, man. We meet as paramedics and firefighters. We meet people a lot of times in the worst possible situation of their entire lives. Right.
Yeah.
And I tell this to rookies and young paramedics too, man. Especially when you work someplace in South Central LA or something like that, where you do get shootings all the time, stabbing, just generally people being bad to each other. Right. It's real easy to show up on scene, or even chest pains and stuff like that. Right.
Yeah,
it might be your 4th or 5th chest pain in a day. Right. And so you're just going through the motions with it. Oh, it's another shooting. All right. Strip and flip, count the holes. All right, put some occlusives on the chest, right? So you don't get a sucking chest wound. You know, stop the bleeding here. Oh, that's arterial. Throw a tourniquet on it. You're just kind of going through the motions, and you know, it's gets your heart rate up, gets you worked up a little bit, right? Because it is, you know, a crazy, chaotic situation usually, especially like a party, drive by at a party and you got 5 victims, you know, laid out, and it's like everybody's screaming, everybody's talking about revenge. Nobody wants to give you any information. There's a house full of people. You got to go looking through the rooms to see if anyone else is shot in any other rooms. You got to get these people to a place where there's enough light where you can treat them and work on them, right? Sometimes you get people that are shot and need to go to the hospital and refuse to go. No, man, fuck that. I don't need that shit. You know, no, I got some shit to take care of.
Episode 80.
Right.
Tell that story, man.
Exactly,
That story's
man.
insane, dude.
But all in all, when you get back to the station, it's like, you know, and you're telling your partner in the morning or your relief in the morning, yeah, we had a shooting over on, you know, 120th and whatever, you know, and it just becomes another shooting.
Yeah, it's routine.
To the people that called, it's like the craziest thing, the most like life-changing thing maybe that's happened in their life, you know? They might change their entire ways because of this shooting that happened at this general party. Yeah. But, you know, it's a traumatic thing, man. It's hard to get people to talk. It's like the thing that's difficult about getting guests on our show, period. You know?
Yeah, and it's
a
like
difficult thing to talk about.
Yeah, we wanted to do one so much. Like we even there was a shooting at the Comedy Store like a few years ago, and we had a dude that was there and like was with the victim and everything, but then the audio went off on that, and like, I don't know, we just had some shit. And we
it's like
God
didn't want us to talk about shootings or something,
seriously,
man. So, but it is something, especially as a paramedic and a firefighter, if you work in you know, the busier, you know, places where you do get more shootings, more stabbings, more gang activity and stuff like that. Shootings are like almost like a bread and butter thing that we do. Yeah. It's like Old County Hospital, right? We used to transport when I worked at Nines on Skid Row, and you'd transport to county and you'd walk in there and it'd be like 3 rows of gurneys just packed up with homeless people that are talking shit to each other, and they had these rows of silver chairs on the side where it was like people that weren't that bad just sat in the chairs, and it was you know, just people, the waiting room, people have been sitting in the waiting room for 3 days to see a doctor or whatever, right? And then it's a trauma center, and they had this little area where you'd stand up as like a viewing area. It's called C booth. Yeah. If you guys ever have an opportunity to watch a documentary called Code Black, it talks about LA County and the transition from old LA County to the new LA County, the new state-of-the-art building that they have. It's a really interesting documentary, and you will catch a glimpse of me in there.
Yeah, we could do an episode about it, man. We really could. Work the whole transition thing.
But when you walk into that hospital, when you used to walk into the hospital, and it used to be all we transported to because no other hospitals would accept patients from Skid Row, right? So we would go there. You walk in, it just seemed like a fucking crazy ass, chaotic, messy, dirty place that you're just like, I wouldn't come here to get treatment for shit, right? Mm-hmm. But if you were stabbed or shot, there's no better place to go. Okay. Because that's all they deal with, dude. If you're stabbed or shot, I want to go to county. Put me in a helicopter and fly me to county. Those guys there, those guys and girls, doctors there, they know trauma, they know shootings, they know stabbings. It's a teaching hospital. It's like that place is where you want to go. That's kind of like what it's like for the paramedics, right? Sometimes you work, and I worked 57s, you know, South Central for a long time. You'll work there and you'll get a shooting. Maybe you're working with a guy from like a different battalion who happened to pick up a Sade or got detailed over there a day. You can tell the difference between the two medics on a shooting call. The guy that's been there, that goes to a shooting every day and shit like that, and the guy who hasn't seen a shooting since paramedic school, right? Right. Just their demeanor, the way they handle themselves, all that shit, you know? So when we talk about it, it's kind of crazy to have a firefighter paramedic podcast and not talk to somebody who's been shot. So we're really grateful to have our guest here. I'm gonna let Ben introduce him.
Yeah, our guest today is a comedian, video creator, and you know, you got shooting survivor. Yeah, Mr. Elias Zepeda. What's up, man? Say what's up.
Hey, how you doing, man? How you doing? I appreciate you having me here.
Yeah, thanks for doing it, man.
Really appreciate you being here, man. Like we said, I know it's a difficult thing to talk about, a life changing thing, like you know what happened to you. So we really appreciate you being here and sharing your story.
Yeah, so let's get into it, man. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I was born in Long Beach, where my parents were living in Southgate.
Okay.
So my mom just kind of was really anal about me being born in Long Beach.
Really? Yeah, nobody ever wants to be from Southgate for some reason. Yeah.
I got no problem with it. I went to Tweedy
Elementary. I used to live in
Elementary.
Southgate.
Yeah. So I spent my first 7 years of life in Southgate with mom and dad.
Mhm.
They separated when I was 7, so I went with mom's to Long Beach at that time.
Okay.
So went there, went to school there. You know, wound up being where I wound up growing up, getting into street shit. You know, I started getting into trouble over there,
Mhm.
and that's where everything kind of led up to me getting shot in the long run.
All right. So you start getting into trouble. Like what? How old are you when you start getting into the life?
It was kind of a build up, man, because when I was in elementary, all through elementary, from first grade in Southgate all the way through 3rd and 5th in Long Beach, I got picked on. I got bullied a lot.
Yeah.
I got bullied all of elementary.
Yeah.
Physically, mainly physically. I didn't really get told things. I got jumped a lot.
Yeah.
I got jumped from, like I said, from little kids. First grade already jumping me. Third grade,
like little kids. I think they're like little cholos already.
Nah, well, just get future
Yeah,
lifers,
little
future
yeah,
life sentences.
yeah. Remember that? Like in elementary school, there were
Oh,
like
hell
little
yeah,
kids who were already
The
saying
little kids
like
with the little
clanging
bang,
shit.
with the bald head, with the bang that went all the way back.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know
Just
what
the
I'm
front
talking
row
about.
right
You know
there.
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
Yeah, you're younger than us.
the little cocktail.
Yeah.
So that really just built up a whole lot of like necessity to for it not to happen, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So as I got older, when 6th grade came around, I started seeing the streets. I started noticing like the writing on the wall, the people that people are scared of, how they look at bald heads and that type of situation. So I was like, at that point I became a wannabe.
Yeah.
You know, I started wearing the baggy jeans.
That's a
6th
way
grade?
to not get jumped.
6th grade is exactly when I started. When I got my first pair of big khakis, I found what Cortez was. I tried to start buzz cutting my hair whenever I could steal my dad's clippers.
Yeah.
So I was trying, you know. It was so fool. I talk nothing like that now.
Yeah,
I didn't talk anything like that when I was actually active gang member, you know.
Yeah.
But beforehand, I was like, "Supe, Charlie." I was talking like I was 50 years old, bro. But
This is like what year?
let me see. I was born in 86.
86. Okay.
So 7 years old,
92, 93. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it 7 more years, 2000, I'm already like tagging.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So 13, 14.
That was the evolution to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got kicked out of school. I started already acting out, doing my thing. I started fighting.
You're in a tagging crew at this point?
Or
you're just on your own?
Yeah, I'm getting into. I'm in high school. So I got kicked out of high school for fighting.
Yeah.
Homeschool, probation school. And I had a cousin. I had family in Carson.
Yeah.
So I bumped into my cousin, like, "Hey, what's up? You know, how you been?" We started catching up, and he was like, "Hey, man, like, why don't you kick it with me and a couple of the bros? You know, like,
Yeah.
we got a little group. Like, we like to hang out." So I was like, "Okay, cool." I started chilling, and this group turns out to fucking like to write on walls.
Yeah. Yeah.
They like to get into big fights. That group themselves was from Compton. You know, so already, you know, Compton is a little higher caliber as far as violence and shit goes than Carson.
And when you started hanging out like that, you immediately liked it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I immediately, like, it was my bread and butter. Like,
What was it that drew you to that, though? Was it just like the power of being with a group of guys that were hardcore like that and no one fucked with you?
I could probably say that, one, because I'm an only child.
Yeah.
So one, it was
Brotherhood.
probably brotherhood,
Yeah.
unity.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it was like, oh, I'm not alone no more.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't have to get jumped by 7 people and think I'm just gonna get
Yeah.
beat up.
Yeah.
You know, even though that's what wind up happening, like, nobody really has your back out there like that, you know?
Sure,
It's
yeah.
all like a false concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at that point, you know, certain things started escalating. It went from, we were taggers. So in certain cities, taggers don't shoot at people.
Yeah.
Compton taggers are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compton taggers are way different.
Yeah.
So we started getting into activities like that. You know, I started getting shot at a lot.
Yeah.
And I became kind of numb to it before I even started gangbanging.
Yeah.
So the fighting it still was there. I was all about fighting. I've always been about fighting, like my hands mainly.
Yeah.
My hands.
Sure.
Before I got shot. I was into boxing. I loved boxing. Like, boxing was a very big passion of mine.
Like you went to a boxing gym?
Yeah, I used to box for PAL, Police Athletic
okay,
League in Long Beach.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I just stopped going there because Coach Joe, he was like, "You got to stop shaving your head or you're not going to come here no more."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Well, I'm not going to come here no more."
Sure. Yeah.
And that's what happened with that
Can't
one.
tell me what to do.
Thanks for teaching me boxing.
Yeah. Thanks for not doing this. So little by little, my boys from the tagger crew that I was from, they start complaining to me like, "Hey, bro, you're doing too much. Like, you're tripping." Because I started being like, "Man, fuck these taggers. Like, I want to start beef with gangbangers.
Yeah.
Like, y'all ain't shit. Like, you guys don't want to take it to the level that I do.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start going a little higher."
You were trying to make it like tag bangers.
Yeah, that's what we were really. Like,
Really?
it's
Already?
sad to
It was
say
already
because
happening
anybody
like
that
that?
picks up a gun and throws up things like that, you're gangbanging.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
This
yeah,
is a game
yeah.
now. It's just you're too much of a punk to go ahead and get into the real shit that involves politics. Really.
Right.
That's really
Yeah,
what
you
it
don't
is.
want to get into the
Sure.
thing that's already existed.
I don't want to
You're
deal
trying
with
come up
the
your
real
own thing.
gangsters that have rules. We're
Yeah,
taggers.
yeah.
We don't have rules.
Yeah.
You know, so when it came to that, they were just like, hey, you're doing too much, man. Like, you got to chill, homie. Like, you really
Your
gotta
own crew, your own
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. They were telling me, like, you can't be starting beef with gangs. I mean, like, no. Especially in different cities. We got Compton already.
Yeah.
Like, you over here in Long Beach, Wilmington, Carson, trying to start some shit.
Yeah.
Like, we're worried about home, fucker.
Yeah.
So that went along. And it's crazy how I met the reason why I wound up in the gang, because there was, I don't know if you guys know, but there was like 18 and under clubs
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leonardo's.
There was one in Downey called Shortcake Sundays. So we'd go there.
Sounds
and-
about right. Yeah.
I
Sounds like a
I
Downey
remember
Shake
Daily
Sunday.
Planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can
so-
almost picture the flyer.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we went there and I met some chick, so I started hanging out with her on the street. One day she tells me like, hey, my cousin's gonna come, but she has a boyfriend. Don't trip on him. I'm like, all right, cool. So we chilled one time. Dude wound up being from my neighborhood, from the neighborhood that I wound up being from.
Oh, really?
So we met and it was like, oh, what's up? All right, cool. It was whatever. We didn't really chop it up too much.
Yeah.
So later on, me and him actually hung out there again with the girls. Their parents came home. They threw us in the closet.
Yeah.
Now we got nothing to do but talk.
Yeah.
We got
Literally
nothing to
in
do
the
but they
closet.
brought us food in the closet. So we're stuck for a bit.
Yeah.
How long?
Maybe a couple hours.
Couple hours.
Yeah.
And you just
2
hear the
hours at
parents
least.
out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They took them out talking.
Have you
They
lived
had
if you
dinner.
haven't been stuffed in a closet once or twice? You know what I mean?
With another cholo?
Yeah. So we start chopping it up. He starts, how do you make money? This and that. I was like, oh, I don't hustle right now. I don't hustle.
Yeah.
So he would start telling me about, he steals radio equipment, this and this and that. That was his grind,
Yeah.
boosting stereos, amps, and things, that situation.
Yeah.
I see on his shoulder, he has a tattoo. So I was like, hey, what's that stand for? And he was like, oh, nah, it stands for what it stands for. It stands for 18th Street. Like, that's what it is. And I was like, wait, like the news 18th Street? Or like some Long Beach shit? And he was like, nah, like the real on the news.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, damn. Like, okay. Like, I know this
Impressed
is
you,
this
yeah.
is a National Geographic hood.
Yeah.
In real terms. So we start hanging out aside from them.
Yeah.
Stopped really kicking it with them. And I started meeting his brother. I met all of his other friends. Once I met his brother, I was like, oh, fuck you. You're the one.
Yeah.
Like the brother was the
Real
calm and collect
gangbanger,
boxer that was like, he went to YA, he went to, he was in juvenile his whole youth.
Yeah.
Here's what you were trying to be like.
Yeah.
Someone you could really look up to at
he
that
wasn't
point.
a thief.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
his little brother.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to up my bar. So I'd hang out with them for a bit, started getting into shit with them.
Yeah.
I started getting into a lot of shit with them. And they came to a point where they start asking me, like, what's up? Like, when you gonna get into the hood? Like, when you gonna, come on, now you chilling well enough? Like, and I was like, nah, like no one's gonna peer pressure me into doing some shit. That was my main thing. You're not gonna tell me to do it. And I specifically remember one night, I got into a fight at a parking lot with like two dudes, laid them on their ass. And I was hot because the reason I got into a fight was because of his sister.
Mm.
So I was like, man, you're not playing the brother part that I'm over here playing.
Yeah.
So I went and sat on the sand real quick, kind of got into my head. And he came up to me and was like, what's up? So, I mean, you ain't a tagger, right? Like, you're not a tagger. Like, you a gangster.
Yeah.
And I was like, like, don't tell me that shit.
Yeah.
In my head, it's ringing, like it's talking to my heart.
Yeah.
It's talking to my heart. Like what I've been wanting to be since I was a kid, since I was being hurt as a kid.
Yeah.
So he just was telling me like, dude, say you're a tagger. Say you're a tagger. Are you a tagger? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, are you a gangster? I don't know. Like, I didn't know who I was really.
It's like a
It's
movie
like a
scene,
scene
man.
in his life.
Yeah.
The same thing, man.
Yeah,
That's
so I was
crazy.
like, fuck. Like, I didn't know. Time goes on. It came to a night. We were in a motel.
Yeah.
But we
For
had
those
just-
of you that don't know.
yeah. We had just done some shit. We came back to celebrate at the Momo. Everybody was drinking. And so I took a real big drink of my drink and I just looked at him and I looked at his brother and I was like, hey, now, like I'm ready.
Yeah.
And he looked at me like with the brightest eyes, like, oh, yeah, okay. Everybody gets up, everybody lines up and we go at it. Everybody gets up and we go at
Just
it.
jumped you in.
Yeah,
huh?
jump me in. And there was a line that he would put with certain people, like, I want you on my level. So after the jump in,
Yeah.
he's like, you and me, one-on-one. Because he was a boxer. He was a
Yeah.
good fucking boxer.
Yeah.
First guy I ever saw, little twinkle toes, dance on his feet.
Yeah.
Oh,
No
God. Yeah, that shit. Every time he did that, I was like, fuck.
Can you imagine a cholo beating your ass and fucking dancing around like Muhammad Ali and shit?
Man, so that went down, and it was gung-ho from there.
Yeah.
It was gung-ho from there. Size 50 Frisco band pants.
Yeah. All that
Triple
shit.
X shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Ben Davis,
All right.
everything.
Yeah.
So you become a gangster, you just start in the biggest gang.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
With a big dude already.
uh,
All right.
so we're on the street, and already it's a LA gang, you know? I'm
Yeah.
living in Long Beach.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's already like, hey, what are you motherfuckers doing down here?
Yeah.
So it's already a really, really, really big thing. And Long Beach is a city where people have pride in it.
Yeah.
You know? LA is a city that people have pride in it.
Yeah.
So you try to infiltrate one city with
Sure. Yeah.
your
I mean, that's how gang wars start.
Exactly.
Right.
That's where a lot of animosity started. A whole lot of animosity. And like I said, I was
And
fighting.
you're living there.
Yeah,
in Long
I'm living
Beach
there.
at the time.
I'm living
Yeah.
there. Yeah, with my mom.
You don't want to move?
No. Not at all.
Yeah. You
I'm
just
on
want to be an 18 dude.
I'm
in Long
on
Beach?
the street. I'm on the street. If I came home, I'm waking up at 7, ironing my shit, and I'm gone again. If I came home.
But you like that conflict at that time in your
Yeah,
life,
I loved
right?
it. I thrived on it.
Yeah.
I thrived in chaos.
How old are you at this time?
About 16.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
About
How long
16.
did you live this, gangbanger life before this incident happened?
2 years.
2 years.
I did 2 hard years.
Yeah.
So
I feel like this whole thing is like a Fox Undercover. Remember that shit? In the 90s, was some boy Chris Blatchford? Yeah. Like,
For
he's
2
like,
years,
he
Elias lived the life.
Right? That's what I'm saying. That was like an instruction manual for him. Like, he's
Yeah.
like, damn, I'm going to do all these things that fucking Fox Undercover is
did you
showing
guys
us.
ever see the documentary about the Chucky and the dude from Tortilla Flats? The little
Yeah, of course,
That's
dude.
how kind of.
That's what you were fighting Tortilla Flats?
in Compton when I was a tagger.
Dude, that
I know,
series
that's what I'm
was
saying. That was
gripping.
him. Yeah, that was
I can
him.
remember waiting for
Yeah.
because it was parts, right? Wasn't it
Yeah.
multiple
Yeah,
parts?
it was.
parts,
It
like
was.
3 parts.
That's right. Yeah.
I can remember waiting. He had the
That's
tortilla
right.
flats tatted on his eyelids. You know?
And Chucky was like 11 or something. Wasn't he
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
little kid?
They were babies.
Yeah.
They were babies.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
So,
Crazy, dude.
Well, like I've never been the guy to always roll around with 20 people.
Yeah,
I'm the guy when you guys are partying, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck you doing? You're partying. What the fuck are you doing? I'm gonna hit the street.
yeah,
I'm always gonna take off my shirt. At that age, I had a big 18 on my stomach.
yeah.
Already, that was my first tattoo. From top abdomen
Just like
to,
that,
to
yeah.
lower abs.
Yeah.
All
no
in.
shirt, so let's go.
Yeah.
And like I said, I enjoyed fighting at that time.
Now, did your parents were they into any of this kind of lifestyle
Not at
growing
all.
up? Not at all. And they worked. They both worked, had
Mhm.
jobs.
Very hard. Very my dad
Do you have
was construction
any
worker.
brothers or sisters?
I got 3 half sisters from they're my sisters, regardless.
Yeah.
We came up together, but they're from a different dad.
Okay, and
So
none
that's
of
why I
them,
say I'm
none
an
of them
only
fell
child.
into this life at all or anything like that. Nobody in your
Yeah,
family.
one of my sisters,
Yeah.
she's a lesbian.
Okay.
So she was from a Long Beach gang.
You think that was
Lesbians are
'cause of you?
gangster.
You think that was because of you? Her being a gangster.
Well, they're
not being a
older.
lesbian.
They're older than me.
Oh, they're older than you.
Yeah, they're older than me.
Oh, okay.
So when
she was already a gangster when you were doing all this shit?
Yeah.
So she was like, she tried to talk you out of it, or she was like, do your
Nah,
thing?
she was like, if you're
Yeah.
gonna fucking do it, you ain't gonna be no bitch. Like if you're gonna do it, you ain't gonna be a punk because it's gonna go worse for
Yeah.
you.
And what are
Yeah, that's
your?
crazy.
You're living with your mom at this time. Does
Mhm.
she have anything to say about any of this that's going on, or is she in the dark?
I was breaking.
Just
her
didn't
heart,
give a
man.
shit.
I was breaking her heart.
Yeah,
I was breaking her heart.
she would tell you. You know,
I would
get away
see
from
her.
the stuff. Yeah,
I was breaking her fucking heart, bro.
yeah,
There was a moment before I gangbang, before tagging, where I've always had a problem. Well, not now, but when I was a youngster, I had a problem with mad dogging people, regardless of your size,
Yeah.
age, stature. I'm dogging the fuck out of you.
yeah.
So I was in Long Beach on 7th and Orange at a bus stop, and there was a big Samoan dude and a black dude walking. Could have been a 15-year-old Samoan, could have been a 35-year-old Samoan. He was humongous.
Who knows? You
That's
never
true.
know.
You never know, Simone.
So
Samoans.
he's walking by, and I'm
God bless
just
him.
dogging him. I'm locked in. And I had my buttons all the way to the top. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure, yeah.
So I'm dogging the shit out of him. And he's walking by and he tells me, hey, man, catch your fucking eyes. And I go, psh. He turns around so fast, lifts up his pants and goes, psh, what? Bam.
Just
I
like
got
that,
braces, bro.
Yeah.
I got braces in my mouth.
right into your
So
lips, huh?
bah, I
Yeah.
feel one hook into my lip.
Yeah.
So he cracks me once and I remember audibly saying, oh, shit.
Slow motion.
And I touched the floor and was like, uh-oh, floor. Picked myself back up. He picked my chin up and he went for a swing and I ducked. I dipped his swing, hit him 3 times, pow, pow, pow. And he looked at me like, really?
Yeah.
Boom, another one straight down. And it was a downward, like down to my mouth and nose. His boy had to stop him. His boy grabbed him and was like, that's it.
Yeah.
So I got shit, lips all, my shit is fucked.
See, and typically that would be enough to make somebody go, all right, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
kind of go,
yeah.
you kind of went the other way, right?
Yeah,
You enjoyed that shit.
I thrived off of it.
Yeah.
I thrived off of it, especially because I was with 2 of my cousins that split. They ran.
Mm.
Well, one ran and one kind of was stuck. Like he wasn't from the streets. So he kind of was just like,
Yeah.
and didn't know what to do,
Sure, yeah.
So that's just where my head was.
Yeah. That's not, it's hard for people to wrap their heads around that because most people avoid conflict with all of their might.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well,
so
let's get to the consequences now, though, right?
Yeah.
So we got this build up. So let's go to what happened.
I got jumped a lot by like this certain gang, by the gang that shot me.
Yeah.
I got jumped a lot by them, but it wasn't successful jumps.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like the beat down.
Never.
They didn't really got
you
you.
guys wind up backing up and running. Like
Yeah.
there was never a time that they could say that they whooped my ass.
They tried to jump.
Tried to a lot.
Yeah.
How many?
It
don't
went,
even know?
probably like 6 the most.
Yeah.
Probably like 6 the most.
Damn, that's
Oh
crazy.
man, it gets worse than that. You get jumped by like 14 people sometimes.
But I'm saying you're winning with.
Oh yeah,
with 6 dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's
really,
crazy.
really, 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 people on the street can't fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Street people, unless you're trained in fighting, or unless you know somebody that can fight, that can show you, you don't know how to fight.
Yeah.
There's no form, there's no technique.
Yeah.
So it's kind of easy.
Yeah.
But the buildup got bad. So I got shot at a lot. I got shot at a shitload by these folks, It came to
And does getting shot at and them not hitting you give you more confidence that they're never going to hit you? Like, does that fill you with a little more confidence to talk a little more shit and stuff like that? Yeah.
yeah, you missed me.
Yeah.
And there's 2 types of people that get, how you said earlier about you can tell that a paramedic that's been on the job and
Sure.
one that really hasn't.
Yeah.
You can tell when people get shot at a lot and when they don't.
Yeah.
Because
No shit.
because I'll go back to wherever we're kicking it at and we're drinking, talking shit like, hey, you almost fucking got me in the ear, dog.
Yeah.
And this guy over here is quiet as shit.
Yeah. Staring at
He's
the
just
corner,
like shaking,
contemplating his life.
in his beer, like looking at us like, why do you think this is funny? Like this isn't,
Yeah.
I feel I should be a Christian
Yeah.
type of shit,
That's a pretty normal reaction, I would think, to getting
That's
shot
the
at. You know what
normal
I'm
reaction.
saying?
Yeah, so
I'd probably be in
that's
the
how
corner
you
going,
should
what the
think.
fuck
Yeah.
am I doing here?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So comes to a point where I'm cocky.
Yeah.
I'm fucking confident in myself.
Sure.
I'm having sex with their homegirls, my rivals' homegirls, which is
Yeah.
all bad on them.
Yeah.
It comes to a point where I'm pretty well known. I'm very well hated. I go to a party. I get invited to a party that I know is dead center in my rival's neighborhood,
Yeah.
and it's a family of,
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, let's go.
This was a quinceañera.
Yeah, quinceañera. This was a quinceañera. So I go.
And if you guys have never been to a quinceañera, it's like a Mexican sweet 16, sweet 15. But it's a lot of alcohol, you know, a lot of family,
DJ.
a lot of, DJ, a lot of friends. And if it's a gang affiliated
gonna be a
family,
lot of gangs.
there's going to be a lot of gangsters there, gangstering.
Shit happens.
Yup.
And this is a rival family, a rival gang's member's family, right? So going here that there's going to probably be something popping off.
That's what I'm looking for.
You're looking for.
That's what I'm looking
You
for.
think people are inviting you to shit because they know that you're looking for shit like that?
It was 2 homegirls from the neighborhood, so
Yeah.
because female. Oh my god, he's so bad. Let's invite him.
Yeah.
Half and half. I half thought they set me up too.
Yeah.
Really.
You never
because
know,
they
Yeah,
had-
that's what I'm saying.
They had
Because
prior
now you're
ties
that far in. Yeah.
that were a couple of degrees away from this place.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah. I've seen enough gangster movies, man, to know that happens.
Yeah, very much so. So I go there looking for what I'm looking for. I go inside. I start banging on people, asking them where they're from, what gang they're involved with, and I find nothing but taggers.
So like, damn, man, I'm
You
just trying
going
to
to
eat
a
this quinceañera
quinceañera?
cake.
Yeah, this one goes to
Yeah.
quinceañera. Hey, where you from?
I'm just trying to dance some quebraditas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I find nothing but taggers. So I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not finding what I'm looking for. I'm looking for apples. I'm finding oranges.
Yeah.
And I go kicking in. There's a little hallway that leads into the main room. So I'm in this hallway with my foot against the wall, just chilling. And a girl that recognized me from beating up a couple of her friends before, she was a tagger also.
Yeah.
She sees me, and she's like, "Hey, where you from?" And I do my little thing. I go ahead and run her my resume, and she was like, "Okay," Before she goes into the main hall, I hear her hop on the phone and say, hey, he's here. He's here on this and this street. He's here. Come now. So I'm like, cool. I got party favors coming.
Yeah.
So they come 2 cars deep, 8 or 9 people. I'm excited because, like I said, I love to fight. The time I got shot, I was at least like 190. I'm 6'1". So I was like 190 ripped and boxing.
Are you strapped at this party? No. Okay.
My boys told me to, but I was like,
Did you
nah.
normally roll around strapped?
Not
at
at all.
Time in your life?
Before I got shot, not at all.
Yeah.
Like I was all about hands
All
and
about throwing
dodging.
hands.
Like I
Yeah.
prided myself in being able to dodge shit. Like like I never got hit before.
There's a decent amount of gangsters that are trained boxers.
Yeah.
Like that's like a pretty normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So they pull up and they come in, they see me and they start doing their little, twisting their fingers and shit.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, what's happening? Like, let's go. Like, it's gonna be a nice fight today. And one of them pulls out a gun and is like, not today, man. No fighting today. They walk outside. So I go inside and tell my homegirl, hey, look, chill inside. I'm going to get shot real quick. And she's
So you're gonna go get shot real quick?
Yeah, she pretty much hits a little, fuck,
Yeah.
what? Like, run.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I'm so-and-so, motherfucker. I don't know how. And she's like, fuck. So I go outside.
What did they call you?
They called me Snoopy.
training? Snoopy?
Yeah. So I went outside.
Do you mind if I ask why did that name come about for you?
Most of the cats in my circle
Yeah.
were also dog names.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha,
and plus
okay.
I got kind of a big head.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So that worked out. So I went outside. I didn't see anybody outside. So I was like, what the fuck? So I started disrespecting cities, neighborhoods, areas, just talking shit.
Yeah.
Really ignorant shit.
Just on the porch?
No, on the street.
Okay.
It's on the street. So it was like a salon.
Like a hall.
Yeah, it was a hall.
Okay.
So I'm outside doing my thing and I just hear, bah, bah, bah. And I turn. And then I hear, fuck this and that.
From behind.
Yeah.
Oh, no
So
shit.
I turn around after the 3. I take 3 more in my left rib cage. I start throwing up my neighborhood. I take 4 in my lower abdomen left side. I hit the floor and I take 1 in my hip. Immediately, as soon as I see the little group running into the alley, I don't know who shot me, so let's just get that record straight.
You just see someone running. Yeah.
I see the group running into the alley. My immediate instinct is I'm gonna get you. So I try to get up and I fold over my legs. Immediately my legs I fold right over my lap. And
Right
I'm like,
then and there.
Right there. I'm like, fuck.
You knew it.
Damn. Like, they got my legs. They got my fucking legs. My homegirl comes out, puts my head in her lap. I'm shot 11 times. I'm leaking. I'm leaking. So I'm hyped. Like I'm fucked in the head. I'm throwing up my neighborhood. I'm talking some Tupac stupid shit.
Yeah.
Paramedics come. I don't know how long it was. Everything seems so fast.
Are you thinking you're going to die? Did that thought cross your mind at this time?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
And this is in Long Beach, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not for 1 second do I think I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
So ambulance comes, and I'm pumped in my head. So first thing he says is like, "We're here to help you," and he grabs my jersey, and cuts it. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh shit.
But I had no force in my head. I broke his jaw, but really, I probably slapped him.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Calm down," and he hit me with something. He hit me with some type of like a syringe or some shit with some type of shit to. And I was like, "Oh, fuck, okay." Like I
made you relax a little bit.
Made me shut the fuck up. So they picked me up, put me in the gurney. I see one of my boys come running down the block. So I'm twisting my fingers like, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Little did I know.
What year is this that this happened?
2005. September 23rd,
okay.
2005.
Okay.
So I get in the ambulance and it's weird because there's so much commotion. There's so much commotion. But at that time, like, when someone's dying, it's like your senses go one by one by one by one.
Okay.
Your brain just starts dropping shit. So my first sign that I was going out was my hearing. Like it felt like I had shells over my ear.
Yeah.
And it was the
kind of ringing.
Yeah. Everything started sounding muffled.
Yeah.
Like everyone's voice just started going the more I was leaving.
Yeah.
They slid a rib spreader into my shit and I felt it.
At the hospital?
No, in the ambulance.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was crazy because it was like getting stabbed, but without the pain. I just felt cold pressure. I just felt very, very cold pressure. And there was a guy to my top left that he had my left hand.
Yeah.
He had my left hand and he was like, "Hey, if you believe in God, bro, pray." And I looked at him real quick and like all the chaos. And I probably gargled it or whatever, but I was like, God don't want to hear me anymore.
Yeah.
And he kind of was just like,
This is a firefighter or just a
in the
random person
ambulance.
on the street?
Yeah.
Oh, you're in the
I'm
ambulance.
I'm in the ambulance going to the hospital.
Okay, gotcha, yeah.
So that's going on. I died in the ambulance.
Yeah.
I think I died like twice in the ambulance.
Yeah.
But it was crazy because it was like somebody was trying to tell me to go to sleep.
Mm.
Like it wasn't like I don't know. It wasn't scary as I was dying.
Yeah.
I just felt tired. I felt like somebody had two fingers on my eyes and they were just kind of no.
We've talked to a couple people that have had near death experiences, and they both kind of said that it was a calming thing. That it wasn't
very serene.
Yeah.
Eerily serene.
Yeah. What a trip.
So I wake up, like there's a moment that I wake up that I'm in the I wake up seeing them putting the betadine on my stomach. The little sponge.
In the ER.
Yeah. And
what hospital did they take you to?
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's in Long Beach. So I hear he's awake. He's waking up. So I'm kind of looking around and right back to sleep. Right back to sleep. I don't wake up for I don't know how long. I really don't remember how long I was in a coma for. But I wake up in the ICU and I actually wake up to the respirator. That's what woke me up. I heard the
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Before you wake up, what was your experience in that time? Did it just seem like it was just blackness?
Black.
No dreams, nothing that you
Black.
remember?
Some fire.
Hearing
but
voices?
black.
Yeah.
But I wake up and I see, I feel a tube down my throat.
Sure, yeah.
I see I'm fucking machine man.
Covered in everything, yeah.
And what's fucked up is I wake up to two detectives right here next to my bed. And they come up. They're like, who shot you? And I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck. Even if I was a snitch, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
So they pull my shirt, they pull my blanket down. They seen my tattoo. And they were like, huh, they finally got one of you motherfuckers.
No shit.
So I was like, oh, damn. Like my body was just like, let's just go sleep.
Yeah.
Back. So I went to sleep. I was fighting a lot when I got shot. I was fighting. I lost my left kidney, my appendix, my spleen, some of my intestine, 2 broken ribs, like shattered area of my spine.
Yeah. So bullet actually
3 bullets.
3 bullets hit your spine directly.
From where I was turning away, 1 bullet hit one side, and as I turned to face them, 2 more struck the other side of my spine in the same exact area.
Man.
Yeah. So that completely gone.
No chance to repair it.
Yeah. So I'm a T10. I'm a T10 paraplegic.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be thoracic if somebody doesn't know.
Sure,
you know?
Yeah.
So during this whole time I'm fighting infections because they hit my intestines.
Yeah.
So now you got
Everything
shit
leak,
in wounds.
Sure.
So this is bad. I'm fighting peritonitis. There's pictures that I've seen of me with a blanket and like a cold rag on my head that I know I had nothing but ice packs under this blanket.
Yeah.
Like altogether, I died about 5 times.
Yeah.
Altogether. 3 in surgery, 2 in the ambulance.
Yeah.
It's like little humps you got to get over, man. Like, I got over not bleeding to death, you know. Now I got to get over getting all these intestines and shit fixed. Now I got to get over getting my spine fixed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I get past all these infections. Now I got to heal enough. You know what I mean? It's like all
And
these different little hills to get over.
One of the main things that the doctor told me, like, you're lucky you got shot 2 blocks from the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he told me I bled out and received blood transfusion, of course.
Yeah.
But I bled out enough for 8 grown men to die.
Yeah. You know, and that's important too because we give fluid out in the field, right? But it's almost like a filler. It doesn't have the ability to carry oxygen or carry, you know, nutrients to your cells like your blood does.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're leaking and we keep dumping liters of saline into you, eventually that saline is going to dilute your blood enough where it's not able to carry enough oxygen or nutrients to your cells in order to survive.
Yeah.
So you need the blood, you know what I mean? And the further, just like you said, man, if I'm in the, you know, very southwest corner of Venice and I got to get a shooting victim to, you know, UCLA at rush hour, that might be too long of a thing. He might bleed out before then, even if I'm dumping fluid into him, you know?
Yeah.
I want to talk just briefly about what most likely occurred when the paramedics showed up. Anytime we show up and we first of all, anytime we show up to a shooting, bulletproof vest and brush jacket over.
Okay.
And we stage away from the actual crime scene until the police department tells us that it's clear for us to enter.
Okay.
So so we'll get a shooting, and everyone throws their stuff on, their safety stuff and helmet, all yellow, so everyone knows that we're cops, just in case, 'cause everybody hates, or everyone knows that we're firefighters, and not cops. And then we'll stage like a block or two out, and we'll let them know, hey, Rescue 63 is staging at such and such and such and such. Cool. And then we monitor the PD radios and basically wait to hear for that code 4 from PD that the scene is clear. There's no more active shooters.
Okay,
and
so police have to get there first.
Yeah, they got to get there first and make sure that the scene is secure for us to be able to come in safely and work on somebody.
And what's crazy, I don't remember not one cop. In my haze,
Yeah.
I don't remember not one
Well,
cop.
you were probably.
That's crazy.
Do you feel like you were just kind of like tunnel vision, like hyper focus on yourself and what was right in front of you?
There were people grouping around me.
Yeah.
So it was kind of just like,
that accompanied with just like what you're saying, you're losing blood, you lose the ability to kind of focus sharply on things and stuff like that, from people that I've talked to. And I've passed out once or twice, you know what I mean? Everything kind of slowly gets dark and it's like, what the fuck is going on, right? So we'll wait for it to clear. Once they say it's clear, then we'll come into the scene. And it's interesting that you talk about swinging at the medic, man, because I've had that happen too. I've had that happen before working on someone's mom, cardiac arrest, and push a medication. You get a little blurb on the monitor and, they don't know that I got to wait 5 minutes before I can give that medication again. I got to make sure that this is in place or whatever before I give it again. So the guy's like, hey, man, give her some more of that. I'm like, hey, man, chill. Hey, give her some more of that. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. Cops have to come and take him off. And you also keep in mind, too, that a guy that shot 11 times, he ain't in the right state of mind at that time, right? There's a lot going on. There's the emotion of everything that happened. But secondary to that, your brain does funky things when it's losing blood or when it's slowly shutting down. You know what I mean? So
his brain was already at a starting point.
You see it in, like when you watch like UFC or something like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Someone's getting choked out and they're fighting it. And then at that last minute, your body naturally goes into a fight or flight mode, right? Where you might literally fight, you know? So be aware of that. I always try to, tell people, hey, man, I'm Danny. I'm a paramedic. I'm here to help you. In your face, as clear as I possibly can.
First thing he said, I'm here
to
help you.
I even hold my badge up. Hey, man, it's a fire department, paramedic. I'm here to help you. Okay, I'm here to help you. That's all I'm here for. Where are you hurt? And they'll tell you, I felt it in my. How many shots did you hear? Right, because you might find one bullet hole right here, right, and I heard 7 shots. Okay, shit. Take everything off, and you find 4 more in his thigh. Yeah, and one of those hit his femoral artery, and he's bleeding out in his thigh or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So get an idea how many shots did you hear? I don't know, man. 6 or 7. Okay, strip and flip. When I walk up to a trauma or a shooting, I literally walk up with my box just in case I need to put some trauma dressings on something and stop it. It's got my tourniquets in it and shit, and my shears. And strip and flip, man. Up both pant legs, cut them completely off. Up the shirt, up both sleeves, get that shirt completely off, and roll them over and count how many holes you have. I posted a clip of one of our older shows where I'm talking about a shooting, talking about counting holes and entrance wounds and exit wounds and stuff like that. And it started this whole fucking back and forth in the comment section about, you're not a pathologist. How can you tell what's an entrance and what's an exit hole? And it's
God.
When you've been doing it for 20 years and you've seen, I can't even tell you countless shootings, you can get a pretty good gauge for what's an entrance wound and what's an exit wound.
I think I even know what an entrance wound is.
An entrance wound is a pretty clean hole. Might have a little burn marks on it or something like that, but it's pretty damn clean. The exit looks like it exploded out the back. Exactly. So you look through, you kind of get a story from, hey, what happened? Somebody tell me, I don't know, man. We heard shots coming from this way. Okay, man. Hey, where you hurt? I felt it. Be you saying, oh, man, my back and my side. Okay, cool. Strip and flip. Look. We got a hole here. We got a hole here. Look in the groin. Look at the ass cheeks, okay? Because you can get shot in the groin. You can get a nut shot off. And if you're, as a medic, you don't take those underwear off to look and see exactly what's going on, you're going to miss that, right? My job is basically to patch up your holes, get a good idea of what happened so I can relay that information to the trauma surgeon, right? Once we get to the hospital, and try to keep your vital signs to a point where you don't die. Yeah. If you stop breathing, I put a tube down your throat and breathe for you. I'll bandage up all your holes. Yeah. If you have, if you're shot in the torso area, so there's something called a sucking chest wound. Okay, your lungs, when you take a deep breath in, right? Your lungs are not stuck to anything. Your lung is here, and the inside of your rib cage is here. Yeah. They're just like stuck together with like fluid and they're stuck. There's no space in between them. So when you take a deep breath and your chest wall expands, right? Your diaphragm drops down. It goes like that. It pulls your lung with it and it sucks air in through your mouth, right? If you get shot through your chest, okay, now you've created a hole into that potential space between your lung and the chest. So when you take a breath and your chest goes to expand, instead of pulling the lung with it, it'll suck air in through that hole. And it'll create an air pocket between your lung and the rib. It's hard for that air to escape back out. So when you take another breath, that bubble gets bigger. That's how you get a collapsed lung.
That's what I had. My left lung collapsed.
You can also get blood in there that will do the same thing, right? You get a gunshot wound, you hit a vessel that starts bleeding in there, and that blood creates that space that puts pressure on your lung. It can get so big that it puts pressure on your heart. Starts shifting your heart, shifting your trachea, stuff like that, right?
Damn.
That's a pneumothorax. Or you could have a tension pneumothorax that puts tension on everything. It's deadly. It's why they do chest tubes in the hospital to let that escape. We do something like that too, but it's called needle thoracostomy. Okay, so it's basically we put a needle up here in like the upper part of your chest between your rib cage, and we put a little one-way valve on the end, so that when you exhale, that air space that was created from the bullet wound allows air to escape that space, but then when you go to breathe in, that one-way valve closes and it doesn't let air back in that hole. So the hope is that you release the pressure of that air and the person is able to take a deep breath and breathe again. So that's one of the things we do. If you take a gunshot wound into the chest, first we'll listen to see if you have equal lung sounds. If you have no lung sounds on one side but lung sounds on the other, you probably have a pneumothorax. And we'll needle T you, right? Your blood pressure has to be a certain level and stuff like that. But we'll also put what's called an occlusive dressing on those wounds. Okay, so it's a dressing like a bandage, right? But it's covered in Vaseline, and you stick that on a wound on your chest, and you tape three. You put the cover on it, and you tape three. Because the tape won't stick to the Vaseline, right? You put the package you put on, you put it and you tape it on three sides. And it's the same kind of concept. If you go to breathe out and there's enough pressure, it'll let some air out of there. And then when you go to breathe in, that Vaseline and everything will seal it up and won't let you come back in, right? So we'll do that. Strip and flip, count all the holes, occlusive dressings on the chest wounds, and tape those down. If you have unequal lung sounds, we'll give you a needle T and relieve that pressure, hopefully make you breathe a little better. Get 2 large bore IVs, right? 16 gauge IVs, some of the biggest that we have, second biggest that we have. Open up, hang 2 bags of saline, and depending on what your blood pressure is, we might flow both of those bags into you and pedal to the metal to the hospital. I really love that the guy talked to you and said, "Hey man, if you believe in God, give a little prayer," because in those moments too, man, I don't know, man. It's important to help people feel human. You know what I mean? To remind people that that they have a lot of strength and power in their own minds and believing that they're going to survive and believing that they have something to live for and stuff like that, right? Another thing is that a lot of the near-death experiences and people that I've talked to that have died in the back of my ambulance and stuff like that, who I had the pleasure of like seeing again and talking to again. People come by the fire station sometimes and thank you, you know what I mean? Which is amazing. But damn near all of them have told me, man, I couldn't see, I couldn't move, but I could fucking hear everybody. I could hear everything you guys were saying, until I couldn't.
Do you remember that too?
No, I remember how I said that.
Oh, you said that was going off
first thing that went first.
I could see for a good little bit. I could see for a good little bit, but it was the hearing that went first.
Okay,
but it's important, I think, as a medic, to keep that in mind, man. Sometimes you get a call and it's just like I said before, it's going through the motions to make sure that you count all the holes, put the occlusive dressings on everything. You start the IV, and it's easy to forget that you're dealing with a human being, man, with emotions, with family, with a story that might be coming to an end right now. There's a lot going on in their head. It's important to remember that and add a little bit of a human element to treating this person.
Okay. So in your case though, you survive this, you recover, but then that's not the last thing that happens to you, right?
Oh yeah. No, not at all. Not at all. Let me see. That was 2005. 4 years later, I get into an altercation at the swap meet in
Are you still gangbanging?
yeah,
Okay, so
Harder.
that didn't
Harder.
stop you at all.
much harder than I was
Yeah.
before. Now I'm interested in guns.
And you're in the chair at this
And I'm
point?
in the chair, yeah.
Damn.
So now I'm not interested in being fair with you anymore and throwing hands. Now I got a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't this day though, but I get into an altercation with a dude at the Lamo swap meet
Mm-hmm.
on Santa Fe and Long Beach Boulevard.
Yeah.
So, Santa Fe and Del Amo.
Mhm.
So there was a little car chase that went on. He chased our car because friends of mine jumped him because of the altercation. So he hops up and is like, all right, I got something for y'all. Gets into the car. We take off. Brakes don't catch. We hit a pole. Two of my buddies in the front hit the windshield. They're out of it.
Whoa.
They're out of it. Homegirl next to me. It's me, my chair, and the homegirl. So we get in the car accident with my chair in the middle of us, get tossed around a bit. So she's kind of messed up. And in the distance, I see the car pass us, turn around. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah, you're stuck.
Like, threw my chair out of the car. I hopped out of the car and I start trying to put my shit together. I see him park, lift up the little back of the back hatch, pull out, and he walks up to me with the thing behind his back. And as soon as I saw the gun pull out, I look up and I'm like, fuck you. And I turn my head.
Expecting a shot.
Yeah, I hear, bah. I don't know if that was my skull. It could have been my skull. But whatever happened, and I saw a flash too, but I had my eyes closed, so that could have been the impact.
Yeah.
So all I feel first is just hot, all of a sudden run down my face. And then I see him getting into his car and taking off. Not to mention what fucked me up was that my homegirl was in the back seat when we came to, hopped out of the car and gave like a blood curdling scream when she saw my head.
Damn.
Like Freddy Krueger shit. So I was like, I'm about to fucking die again.
Yeah.
So this is late night. This is late night. And if you're familiar with the area, we're not around businesses. We're already by kind of borderline industrial.
Yeah.
Nothing but trailers, empty shit. So no cars are passing by. And the car that does pass by that I'm like, hey, help. They look and pull
Take
off.
off. Yeah.
Pull off. Some way, somehow, ambulance gets contacted. They come, ask what happened. We got into a car accident. They're like, okay, cool. You want to go to the hospital? Nah, I'm good. Like, not with you guys. So they bandaged my head up. And we wind up going to
Hold on, did they know you were shot in the head?
I got into a car accident.
Yeah.
That's what I told them.
Does this see you have a head injury?
Yeah, that's all I told them. So the wound might have looked whatever it looked like.
Yeah.
So they bandaged my head up. My boy, they brought a van. Well, my homeboys brought a van. Took me to Harbor General on Carson. I was in that fucking emergency room for so goddamn long. Like, the blood spot, it started like a dime size. By the time I got seen, the blood stain was like bigger than my knuckle.
Yeah.
You didn't tell them what happened to you though.
Yeah, but I got a head injury. I had to force myself to throw up in front of the person. Like, I went up and I was like, I'm getting dizzy. They were like, just wait. Now in my head, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So I throw up and they're like, oh God, we need to get him attended fast, whatever. So I go, they give me x-rays and they're like, hey, look, we got to get you into surgery ASAP. Like, we got to get you into surgery right now. And I was like, why, man? They're like, you got a skull fracture. And I was just like, fuck. Like, I've been in surgery so many times.
Yeah.
From the first shot. I've been in surgery like at least 6 fucking times. And the moment of anesthesia is the worst moment for me because I'm very much like, I'm in control.
Yeah.
I'm a very person that I could defend myself. I'm in control.
Yeah.
That's one of the most vulnerable points ever in my life. Like, I'm going to sleep.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know if I'm coming back. So when that shit goes over my face, every time tears would run.
Yeah.
Every time tears would run.
Now, through all this, are you still living with your mom in Long Beach?
After I got shot the first time, she was living in a very small pad that wouldn't even accommodate to me.
Yeah.
So I went with my dad right away.
Yeah.
So we wound up moving to LA, Alvarado, like MacArthur Park area. Luckily, I didn't get it into shit right there. I actually got a pass one day because I got caught slipping. I got caught by MS. A group of them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I was
gonna say, he moved you right into the shit.
Yeah, dead bang, I got caught. And dude told me, I know who you are. I've seen you going to the store without your fucking shirt. Kick the fuck back.
Oh, no shit.
Don't make any fucking noise.
That's cool.
Because he barely got out from doing a long stretch.
Yeah.
His boy was already making the little circle to get me. And he was like, hey, I kicked the fuck back.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't make no noise.
Yeah.
This happened when me and my dad, we found an apartment in Torrance. That's why I wound up going over there to the Delamo swap meet. And they put a plate in my head after I got my skull cracked.
Yeah.
They put a plate in my head. So that fucked me up because not the injury itself, but the recovery part because of swelling.
Yeah.
I didn't know the swelling transfers. So my shit was all big from here. So I was like, okay, cool. I got a knock on my head. I wake up then like 2 days later and my whole face like is just wiggly. Like I feel like a fat man's arm. Like it's just
It's all fluid.
nah. Like I'm like, that's what I'm worried about. Like my face.
Yeah.
Like my fucking face. Went away. It was all right. I had like 16 staples. Took them out myself in like 2 weeks.
So how do you go from that
Yes.
to where you are now? Stand-up comedy,
To where I meet
acting.
you. Yeah.
Getting fucking sick, getting tired. I saw hypocrisy in the whole situation. Like I saw how much effort I was putting into things. And I wound up seeing a lot of hypocrisy. Like I went to prison twice in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
And that really, really cemented a lot of things that I thought I knew for fact.
Mm-hmm.
Like I went there and it was like the guys that we look up to on the streets, the big homies, they're fucking strung out. The majority of them are strung out.
Yeah.
The gangsters inside of there, you're gonna find the guy that you respect on the street in the back bunk asleep with a fucking syringe in his arm.
Yeah.
And at the time when a motherfucker like me is dedicated to the streets, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's fucking heartbreaking. So cause I look at my situation and it's like, damn, like fuck, I did this shit hard and this is what the fuck I could grow up to be.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to aspire to.
Yeah. Like
Where did you pull motivation from to elevate your life? Like if you were in the depths in this kind of lifestyle, I'm assuming all the people that you had in your circle and stuff like that were doing this too and we're down with it and stuff like that. So typically, I mean, that's a hard thing to get out of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once you're in, especially when you're in as deep as you are. And even if you're able to get out of it, the lifestyle has kind of put you in a position in life where it almost seems like a hole that's too hard to dig yourself out of. How did you manage that? How did you get the willpower to pull yourself out of that hole? And did you have any help from people to help pull you out of that? Or was it just a solo mission to do the best you can and got you to where you're at right now?
Aside from family, like telling me to stop doing what I was doing and actual friends, not homies, it was a solo thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, shit, everybody was just like, they were happy that I was super active and super nutty in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the homie in the chair.
Yeah.
The homie in the chair.
Yeah.
So that,
Yeah,
you know,
such
that
a
was
trip.
one thing that was like, fuck. Like, you know, but after a while, it was just really the fact that it was fake.
Yeah.
The fact that it
It's
was
like,
fake.
yeah, it
hit
wasn't
you.
what you thought it
It
was.
was just romanticized.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that is what actually like just knocked me in the head. I've always been a fan of comedy. I've always loved comedy. My dad loved comedy. I've always been a fan. You know, I've always talked shit. I've had a stupid life. I've done dumb shit.
Yeah.
I've always had a way with words, I guess.
Yeah.
I've always like making people forget their shit.
Yeah.
As a kid, I would see my mom sad a lot, you know? My mom would have her little moments when I would see her just sad as fuck. And I remember one night specifically, you guys know Street Fighter, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you know Dr. Delsum?
Yeah.
Do you remember when he wins, that little dance he does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He claps his hands and does a little
Yeah.
I would do that in my BVDs. I would do that in my Hanes little underwear.
Yeah.
And she would laugh.
Yeah.
And she would come and hug me and smile. That was one of the first moments I knew, like, oh shit, I like the way this feels.
Yeah.
Like I like to make you happy with my happy. And not to mention like shit that I went through in my life. When you live a life of pain, when you live a life of all types of pain, emotional, physical,
Yeah.
you don't want the next person to feel that.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of me. That's a really big part of me. Like I can have my darkest day. And if I can make you smile,
Yeah.
it might not brighten it up, but I helped you out.
It's almost like a addiction or something. You know what I mean? It's like once you decide, fuck, this ain't for me no more.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest step that you can take to pulling yourself away from whatever it is that you're hooked on. You know what I mean? It's that inner thought of like, okay, I'm done with this. You know,
Like he said, like the curtain dropped for him, and like you realize it's just an illusion that the people that are in it are keep pushing to get other people in it.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to feel like it was all a waste.
and it's
You know what I'm
like,
saying? So it just kind of just feeds itself.
and it's like people can tell you all they want, man, you shouldn't do this anymore. You shouldn't you're right. And and they might be right and nothing will change. But until you decide yourself,
You gotta decide for yourself.
I'm fucking done with this. Nothing changes, man. It's such a trip.
Glad it changed for you, man. You came a long way because the whole time you're telling me this crazy story, I'm thinking about how I met this dude, right? So we were at a show. This was like 2 weeks ago, right? On a Friday, and my girl never comes to shows because like she's a convict too, like secretly dating and shit, and like so we don't really like go to shows together and shit. So she comes to this show and she brings her dog, right? And so he's sitting back with us with the dog. We're talking, shooting the shit and everything. And I go to do my set. And by the time I come back from my set, the dog's in his lap, licking his face. You know what I'm saying? Like this little. It's a it's a Morkie, Maltese Yorkie, right? So a little tiny fluffy dog and everything. And like, all over this fool. Now it's like this dude's a fucking killer. The whole time it's just the craziest fool I ever met.
But that's interesting too, man. Is some of the people that have had like the toughest past, the craziest shit happen to them. A lot of times, or at least for me, man, hitting rock bottom and pulling yourself up from that, it's like nothing's gonna be worse than that.
Yeah.
For me, you know what I mean? It was like nothing's ever gonna make me. I'm never gonna be that low again. I'm never gonna be that piece of shit again. Like nothing's ever gonna get me that low. And I made it through there. Mm-hmm. So nothing really out here that happens to me is that fucking important because I went through this and I'm stronger than that, and nothing you say or do or whatever is gonna fucking hurt me. I did this. You know what I mean? Do you feel like that's kind of how you live your life now?
And you know, what really tripped me out is when I was in prison, there was a lot of older cats, like lifers from both sides, black, brown, or whatever, that would catch me when I was brushing my teeth or shaving or some shit. And they'd be like, "Hey, why you do this shit, bro?
Yeah,
like you can fucking act, like you have an energy about you. Like, what are you doing, little homie? Like, what are you doing? Like, this shit ain't for nobody."
Yeah.
So I'm talking to lifers, motherfuckers that are here for like 7 execution style murders.
Yeah.
So it was like,
I
feel you. Like, I feel you. Like, fuck this.
Yeah.
So I just stopped. And what's a blessing is I didn't get no pullback from my people, from my homeboys. I didn't get any pullback.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything. I didn't get any, "Oh, you're a punk." I have yet to hear.
Yeah.
To hear.
Yeah, sure.
Some shit. And I'm sure motherfuckers that don't know me be like, "Oh, why isn't he in the hood? Why isn't he in the hood?" That's cool. But my people, not once.
Yeah.
And that's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Sure is, yeah.
But that's also because all the work you already put in too, right? I mean, you kind of like earned that.
Yeah.
Work to your retirement.
Yeah, pretty much.
In a sense. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Glad you came on the show, dude.
I really appreciate the
thank you so
opportunity.
much,
for
man.
real, man. Drop your socials. Where can people follow you,
Oh,
dude?
man, I'm on Instagram at The Seated Entertainer. No underscores, no dots, no spiggles, no spots, nothing like that. TikTok, same. YouTube, same. The Seated Entertainer.
Yeah,
Find me.
seated, like sitting.
Yeah.
The Seated Entertainer.
Entertainer.
SEATED.
Mm-hmm.
So I post up my shows, all that.
Yeah, he
Check
makes
me
a
out.
lot of content, a lot of videos he posts. Yeah, man, he's all over the place on that thing, man.
Check him out for sure. You guys can follow me at DannyGonzo34 on Instagram and Twitter.
Follow me at Bed9Humor, Bed number 9 Humor, like my 9 tumor, on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow our show at PRC Pod on Instagram and Twitter, or at PRC Podcast on TikTok. You can also email us, contactprcpod@gmail.com. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Oh, yeah.
Follow
our sponsor
at CBD Living Water on Instagram. Check them out.
And get you some water.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.